Hi YouTube, this is Bonnie from Dragon Soap. Welcome to another soaping adventure. Today we are going to make hot process soap, which I don't normally make, but I'm doing it because I have a friend who has rosacea and she asked me to make a soap that would be good for her. Now, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a drug manufacturer. I doubt whether a soap can actually help, but it can. I think a properly made, cold process, handmade soap can maybe not help, but it won't make things worse the way a lot of commercial soaps will, which will dry out her skin. So, but I'm going to add a few things that, God, I don't know, might help. I don't know whether they will or not. She said she's willing to be a test subject. But there are some flowers and things that are supposed to be anti-inflammatory, and they say the two things you want to do for rosacea is use an anti-inflammatory and a little bit of a antibacterial. So I've got some essences, I'm going to be putting an extract of calendula and chamomile and green tea and oats. And I'm going to be putting in some rose water and some orange flower water. But I want to do those at the end. I don't want them to interact with the lye. So I'm going to hot process so that the lye is basically all used up and converted to soap with the oil before I add those. So that's why I'm doing hot process. Oh, and I'm going to put a little bit of pink kaolin clay in it because we just must have color, right? So I've got my palm kernel oil here. I did change my normal recipe a little bit. Usually I use more either palm kernel or coconut than I'm using in this recipe. I lowered the percentage of palm kernel and I added up the percentage of olive oil, and I added some avocado oil, which makes a really nice facial soap. So let's see, I don't need this anymore. We'll put in the lye water. I'm trying to treat the oils very gently because I tend to get a lot of air bubbles, and I've noticed that when I pour one oil into the bucket or into another oil, I see little air bubbles being created. So I'm pounding the bucket on the table and gently stirring in hopes of getting rid of the air bubbles, although, to be honest, they'll probably go away during hot processing anyway. I also poured the palm kernel oil a little bit warmer than I normally do, but since it's going to be hot process, I don't really care. I don't have to worry about it seizing or anything like that because it's going in the hot process. I will be doing it in a crock pot. Alrighty. The blender. Would you listen to that? I don't know if you can see into the pot in the camera. Oh, it's getting thick already. I've noticed that the palm kernel does seem to trace faster than the coconut oil does. For anyone who may be watching and is not a soap maker, trace is It's how we measure when the soap is ready to have the fragrances and oil, or fragrances and additives added to it. You probably can't see. Let me get this out of here. We're at a nice trace right now. Again, I can go over what I normally would because we're going to hot process. But if you can see, you take a spoon. Boy, that looks kind of grainy, doesn't it? And dribble it across. You can see the trace on the surface of the soap. Kind of like you're making a pudding and it's starting to set up. That's what we call trace, and that's when we would normally be ready to put it into the mold. But this time, instead of putting it into the mold, I'm going to put it into my crock pot. Now, I actually want to move my freezer paper. I use freezer paper as a work surface. Let me... So that it'll when I spill, it's easier to clean up. Well, you know why I do it. I don't have to tell you that. Come on. Oh, I just got it all over the handle. As my brothers would have said when we were growing up, smooth move, X-Lax. I know it's a bad joke, huh? It popped into my head. I'm regressing to my childhood. Okay. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to peel up this freezer paper because I don't want the crock pot on top of the freezer paper. I'm not sure whether it would melt the plastic that's on one side or burn the paper a little bit or what, but let's not take chances, right? And we'll turn that on. I'll turn it on high for now to get it warm, and then I'll turn it down to low. And I will turn the camera off and we'll come back when it's doing something. Okay, it's been cooking for about 45 minutes, half an hour, something like that. And it's starting to look a little Vaseline-y on the sides. Vaseline is probably not a word you hear every day, but that's okay. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, it looks like mashed potatoes, doesn't it? You see it's starting to get a little bit melted. It's still got lye in it, so goggles and rubber gloves are still the order of the day. I haven't done hot process in several years. And I think last time I did it, I did oven process, not crock pot. I didn't have this nice big crock pot at that time. I had a little bitty one. Okay, we'll let it continue to... Okay, it's been almost an hour and a half. And the soap is getting Vaseline-y. Look at that. Oh, I need a hot pad. Doesn't look like mashed potatoes anymore. You know, I really like the smell of unscented soap. Of course, I rarely make unscented soap because I like the fragrance oils more, but there's something, I don't know, it smells good. It smells clean and wholesome and something. Actually, I should push it up against the side so it cooks faster. And yes, there's still lye in that. It's not all cooked out yet, so still need gloves and goggles. And we'll leave it, for a bit more. Okay, it's been almost 2 hours and I think we're done. I'm going to take just a little bit of soap out of here to do a tongue test. Ooh, that's still warm. I took the temperature a little while ago, but I've got it turned off and I'm letting it cool down a little bit. I don't know what temperature these extracts should go in at, but probably not something too hot. Is that cool? Okay, tastes like soap, but it's not zapping my tongue, so we're good as far as the lye. Oh, come on. As far as the lye goes. 183, 184. It's going slow enough. It's probably less than 190 degrees. Close enough. I'm going to pour in my extracts and rose water and orange flower water. I wasn't going to use a fragrance oil at all, but I decided to use just the tiniest bit of passion fruit rose because I was hoping the rose water would give it a nice rosy scent, and it really didn't, hardly at all. So I put in just the tiniest bit of fragrance oil. Okay. Boy, it's still pretty thick. Hot process is always a little bit thicker than cold process. So I have my silicone molds, you know, my little silicone molds. I don't know whether this is going to work, but let's give it a try. I expect we won't have a lot of really fine detail, but let's see what happens. Now, my plan, if it doesn't dry out too fast, is to take some of this and put it into this other, turn this back onto this other crock pot, and then stir in some of that pink clay, although, boy, it's getting kind of thick. I don't know how well that's going to work. Let's see. So I think I'm just going to layer this. I'm not going to try to swirl it in. I'm just going to layer it. I think I'll spray a little bit of water in between the layers too, just to help them stick a little bit. That's a nice subtle shade of pink. Okay. Oh, crap. I need a bigger counter. I suppose everyone feels that way. Oh, I don't have two handles on that one. Okay. Those are unplugged. Where'd I put my mold? Here we go. My spray bottle. Oops. Come on, get in there. And yes, I'm going to sprinkle a little glitter on the top when we're all done. Now I don't like my layers to be exactly level and straight and all that, so there's the first one. Spray a little bit of water. Oops. I think this is stiffer than the rebatch that I've done. Maybe it's because I let it cool down more. Okay, spray a little bit of water. I think that'll will just help the layers adhere. People that do melt and pour spray, oh my, alcohol between the layers. Alcohol is a soap solvent, so it helps it adhere by helping that, I assume, it helps just we'll do a little more different type of a top than I normally do. Just because my normal type will probably not there look good. Glitter right here, right now. Just because it's hot process doesn't mean we can't have a little glitter. This is an ultra fine cosmetic grade. You know what? There. All right, I'm done with that. But there's still a little bit left in here. So let's do the rest of these small molds that I thought I wouldn't get done. Always good to have extra molds so that if you have more soap, you've got something to put them into right away. Well, it is still smelling really nice. I hope I didn't make a mistake by putting a little bit of that fragrance oil in, but it's such a wonderful, it's actually a flavoring oil. It's passion fruit rose from Brambleberry. I made some lip balm with it and it's wonderful. Now, I usually use just under a tablespoon per pound of oils on my fragrance oils. This one I used, for 4 pounds of oils, I used 2 teaspoons. So it's a lot less than I normally use. But hot process, of course, you don't need as much anyway because the lye isn't, it's not lying. Do a little cupcake. Can't let this go to waste. Okay. I don't know if this is going to stick well. This is, I don't know if you can see it, glittery. Maybe I should put a little more glitter on. I think the texturing is falling in a little bit. I've had that happen with rebatch soap I've done too. We will see. Did I say I always go through a lot of spoons when I make soap? It's starting to harden up on top, so I don't think I want to do too much or it'll... Oh. Of course, now since I played with it, I have to do more glitter. No such thing as too much glitter. Okey doke. The little silicone molds, I put glitter in the detail part before I put the soap. So there we go. Can you see? Never know quite where the camera is. Well, thanks for watching. Please leave any comments or questions or anything. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.